Good morning, everybody. I hope you've all had more coffee than I have. I'm White Fowler, the chairman of the Board of Governors here at the Middle East Institute, and extremely pleased to welcome you all to this, as you now know, our 64th annual meeting. We have hosted these conferences for a long time, longer than many other Washington institutes, and we believe and we hope they're getting better and better. For this conference, we registered over 1,000 attendees, which is a record for us, and we know that you haven't come just to drink our coffee. And we think when you hear our panelists and their analysis, you'll be pleased that you gave us this time. We have former diplomats, current academics, advisors to the administration, and consultants, all of whom have distinguished themselves with insight into this very complex region. We're very grateful and honored that they have joined us today, especially these five who have awakened, especially early to join us. The Middle East Institute was founded in 1946 with the primary goal of fostering understanding of the Middle East among Americans. Middle East scholar George Camp Kaiser and former Secretary of State Christian Herter transformed the organization from its initial roots at the Johns Hopkins University School for International Studies to an independent, nonprofit organization. MEI became a groundbreaking entity focused on issues of the post-World War II Middle East, defining the region as stretching from Morocco to Pakistan into Central Asia. So we have a broad mandate, and we've taken full advantage of it. Our fine academic quarterly, the Middle East Journal, publishes on everything from Iran's nuclear crisis to the energy security challenges faced by Azerbaijan. This year, we hosted a Lebanon policy series entitled Lebanon Looking Ahead, featuring speakers such as Paul Salim, the director of Carnegie's Middle East Center in Beirut, in discussion about the domestic and regional challenges facing Lebanon today. Our Language Institute this fall enrolled over 150 students in 24 different classes teaching Persian, Turkish, Hebrew, and Arabic. And this June, we were proud to host for the first time the Center for Turkish Studies' first annual conference, titled Turkey's New Geopolitics. The Turkish Center's conference featured Director of the Center for Turkish Studies at MEI, Dr. Toll, as well as many top American and Turkish analysts on Turkey. Panel topics included Turkey and Eurasia, relations with Armenia, Russia, Turkey in transition, on and on and on. It was in June, and we were very excited about beginning a new series. And lastly, this past spring, the Middle East Institute partnered with the University of Windsor in Ontario, Canada, to host a conference, the Jerusalem Old City Initiative, Sustainable Governance Solutions. And this was done and drew a very distinguished group of people from all over the region to talk about how Jerusalem could be managed and run in the event that we had our long-awaited peace settlement. Small pitch, as you know, we are a membership organization. We value your support. Today'd be a great day for you to join up. If you see fit, our membership table is in the foyer by the books. For $100 a year, you will receive a subscription to our Middle East Journal, exclusive mailings about all our events as well as discounts. In any case, thank you very much for joining us. We want to get our panel started on time, so I'm going to turn the floor over to Ambassador Barbara Bodine, who will be moderating this first panel, America's Middle East Policy in the Second Half of the Obama Term. I did not make that title. So if some of you think that this is the second quarter of the Obama term, you can discuss that with our staff as we see what our analysts have to say. Ambassador Bodine has a distinguished reputation as a former diplomat serving as our ambassador to Yemen, as a deputy principal officer in Baghdad during the Iraq-Iran War, and as DCM in Kuwait, among other postings. She is now a lecturer in public affairs at the Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs at Princeton, and a very fine public servant. She will moderate this panel and introduce you to our panelists.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you all for getting up at this hour in this weather to be here. I would first like to thank MEI for asking me to moderate this panel. Made sure that I was here. I would have wanted to hear them in any event, but it certainly gets you focused. And I'd certainly like to congratulate Ambassador Fowler, Ambassador Chamberlain, and Kate Seeley on a terrific program. Like Ambassador Fowler, I will not claim authorship of the title of the panel, and he actually kind of stole my joke line. It's quite all right. We are now in the second day of the second half of either the first or final term of President Obama. So by Washington's clock, it's not too early to start making Janus-like pronouncements, retrospective and prospective, on our policy in the region. I think one of the things that was remarkable about the elections that we just had, fairly remarkable elections in any event, was almost a total lack of discussion of foreign policy issues, and including issues on this region. 2 years ago, the conduct of U.S. policy worldwide, and specifically in the broader Middle East, was at the core of the campaign. However, despite their lack of visibility in these elections, U.S. policy in the Middle East remains at the core of our security debate, and even a cursory reading of last May's national security strategy bears this out. It talks up front and at great length about weapons of mass destruction, violent extremists, the transition to full sovereignty and responsibility in Iraq, unwavering pursuit of a comprehensive peace between Israel and its neighbors, including a two-state solution. And while many of the other threats and challenges in the document extend beyond the Middle East, many of their roots and solutions lie within this region. And therefore, the options and opportunities facing each of the regional players and the options and opportunities for U.S. policy bear reflection. President Obama came into office committed to changing America's relationship with this region, and the energy and the passion was clear in the president's many early public pronouncements. While 2 years is too brief a time to judge success or failure, this halfway point is an appropriate time at which to review and reflect what has been accomplished, what opportunities have been missed, and what realistic options we have going forward. I'm going to briefly introduce our panel in the order in which they will speak. Their full bios are in your program. Each is a well-respected expert in their field and known to many of you in the audience, and as they say, they need no introduction. After the final speaker, we will take questions from the audience. This is a change from those of you who had been to previous MEI conferences. There are or will be microphones out there. We have lights on us. I can't see anything. Our first speaker is David Makovsky, who is director of the Washington Institute's Project on the Middle East. He's a former editor and journalist, author or co-author of a number of publications on the Arab-Israeli issue, and a frequent commentator and contributor to a wide range of media on this important issue. Dr. Joost Hilterman, Deputy Program Director of the Middle East and North Africa for the International Crisis Group, where he manages a team of analysts in the region. He has written extensively on Iraq, most recently a book, A Poisonous Affair, America, Iraq, and the Gassing of Halabja. Susan Maloney is Senior Fellow at the Saban Center for Middle East Policy at Brookings Institution, where her research focuses on energy, economic reform, and Iran since the Iranian Revolution. Among many other accomplishments, she directed the 2004 Council on Foreign Relations Task Force on U.S. policy toward Iran. And finally, Ambassador Edward P. Dirigian is the founding director of the James A. Baker III Institute for Public Policy at Rice University. Ambassador Dirigian's public service career spanned the administrations of 8 U.S. presidents, appointment twice as U.S. ambassador in the region, and service as Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs. Ambassador Dirigian has agreed to try to connect the dots and fill in the blanks, a daunting task to which he is well qualified. Thank you all.